Hare Krishna. I'd like to welcome all the devotees. So thank you all for joining. I'm just about to start the prayers. I hope devotees will join. There are very few right now. So let's start with the prayers, and then I will just align on what we are discussing today, as I mentioned in the beginning. Om Ajnana-Timirandhasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manohishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mayam Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Shakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shubhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Radhanacha Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Vadi Mukam Karudi Vachalam Pangam Nangayati Girim Yat Kripata Mahamande Shri Gurum Jintaranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tats Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone this Wednesday evening. I hope you have seen my message in our WhatsApp group Amrit Pravaha. So today is a very special week. In fact, the festival season has started with the Jhulan Yatra. So from the Ekadashi Tithi, the Jhulan Yatra has begun. And the Jhulan Yatra ends with Balaram Purnima, which is day after tomorrow. Hari Bo. And soon after Balaram Purnima is Shri Krishna Janmashtami. Hari Bo. And after Shri Krishna Janmashtami, there is very soon Radhashtami. Hari Bo. So there are lots of Hari Bols. And all the Hari Bols are accompanied by fasting and feasting. So lots of excitement happening. So it's a festival season and it will go on. Of course, it will go on for some time. Then slight quiet, and then Kartik will come. And then again, so many wonderful festivals. So that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. It is never dull. And there are so many festivities. Yeah, Prabhupada is Amit is reminding me there's Prabhupada's appearance day also. Yes. Yeah, there are many other smaller festivals also. Of course, Prabhupada's appearance day is a very important festival, which is the day after Krishna Janmashtami. So lots of festivals starting, and we are now currently in the beautiful season of the Jhulan Yatra. Most ISKCON temples will also celebrate the Jhulan Yatra. This is where Radha and Krishna are placed in a beautiful swing. Usually the Utsav Murtis, they are swung. Krishna enjoys the swing pastimes. Krishna is a very fun-loving personality. Likes all kinds of play, games, pranks. He is the example of he who lives life to the fullest, the way we say it. because he's a Rasraj. He likes to enjoy in all this. Anyway, today we are going to be discussing, rather than our usual series on Chaitanya Charitamrita, itself is also so sweet and so wonderful. I hope you're enjoying it in spite of the philosophical rigor that we are currently going through. Hopefully that will be done in another 1 or 2 sessions. But for this week, this Wednesday, today, because it is Balaram Purnima and Balaram Purnima is on a Friday, I thought, rather than discussing about Lord Balaram on Saturday after the festival, we can discuss about Lord Balaram today, so that we can prepare our consciousness for the day. Yeah. So that's the reason today, in case you have not seen that message, just to let you all know. So those who are not aware of this, today, rather than the Chaitanya Pravaha, only for this week, at least for this week, since festival season is coming, we'll see how, if we need any other adjustments. But as of now, for today, we are going to be discussing Lord Balaram's pastimes. Of course, we have discussed a lot of philosophy on Lord Balaram. So we have already discussed that, so I'm not going to go into a lot of that. So today's focus will be a lot of sweet pastimes about Balaram. So hope all of you are okay with that and enjoy these beautiful divine pastimes. So philosophically, we already discussed in great detail how, while Krishna is Purna Purushottam, he's Adi Purush, the original, complete, independent Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord's Krishna's first expansion before producing any other expansion is Lord Balaram. Many people, even amongst the religious spiritual circles, do not understand the actual glory and position of Lord Balaram. It's very confidential. He's a very, very, very significant personality. Srila Prabhupada goes on to say that in one sense, Krishna and Balaram, even though Balaram expands from Krishna, practically in Krishna and Balaram are identical. Both are the reservoir of beauty, both are extremely powerful. They are almost the same. The only difference, Prabhupada says, between Krishna and Balaram is that Balaram is fair in complexion and Krishna is dark in complexion. Otherwise, practically, both of them are. Of course, Krishna always maintains his supreme position as the original enjoyer. It's true. But from all other perspectives, Balaramji is also extremely, extremely beautiful. And you'll see in most of the Leelas, whenever Sri Krishna appears or any other expansions of Krishna appear, Balaram or one of his expansions accompanies Krishna. When Krishna comes personally, Balaram comes personally as Lord Balaram. When Krishna comes as Ramachandra, Balaram comes as Lakshmanji. When Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya, Balaram comes as Lord Nityananda. Sometimes he becomes elder brother, sometimes he becomes younger brother. Some devotees and acharyas have said that when he came as younger brother as Lakshman in Ramayana, he had to do so many unpleasant things against his desire that Lakshman said, next incarnation, I am not going to become younger brother, I'll become elder brother. So you cannot order me because you made me do this. I wanted to disobey Dashrath, you didn't do that. I wanted to punish Bharat, you didn't let me do that. I didn't approve of Sita's Agni Pariksha. I didn't approve of leaving Sita in the forest, but you made me do that as a younger brother. Next incarnation, I'm going to be elder brother. Krishna said, okay, fine. But the point is, with Krishna, it doesn't matter you're younger, equal, elder. Krishna always has his way. That is the point. Because Krishna is the original independent personality of God. So of course, Balramji appeared as Balram in Krishna's Leela, his original form. But throughout the pastimes, we see still how Krishna still had his. Anyway, that's a different discussion altogether. So in this incarnation, in this appearance, I don't want to call it incarnation, this appearance, before Krishna appeared, Balramji appeared. So we all know that Vasudeva and Devaki were put in the prison. And 6 pregnancies of Devaki, as soon as they were born, Kamsa would smash and kill the child. Very painful in the Mathura jail. We hope and pray that the Mathura jail, the original one which is concealed and is currently under a mosque, will hopefully be available for worship soon, Krishna willing. So that place on that stone is still there, where Kamsa would smash them. Very painful. The 7th pregnancy of Devaki was Lord Balaram. And the 7th pregnancy, she had already become so effulgent, and Kamsa was suspecting this must be the promised one who's about to kill me. But then, by the mystic arrangement of Lord Krishna, Krishna instructed Yogamaya Devi that you transfer Baladev, who's in the womb of Mother Devaki, into the womb of Mother Rohini. Where was Mother Rohini at that time? She was in Vrindavan. Actually, Mahavan to be more specific, in Vraj Mandal, Gokul Mahavan. So I just want to briefly explain. Vasudeva had many queens. Devaki and Rohini were amongst the prominent ones. So Rohini is actually the wife of Vasudeva. But when Devaki and Vasudeva were persecuted, Vasudeva thought it wise to ask Rohini to not remain in Mathura, but to travel to the home of his very dear friend Nanda Maharaj, who stayed in Gokul Mahavan in Vraj Mandal, not very far away, but he just felt she would be safer there. Because Kamsa is an eccentric character, you cannot be trusted, right? So suddenly he was driving the chariot of Devaki, and suddenly he took a sword to kill her. Demons are unpredictable. He didn't want to take any chance. He asked Rohini to go there. So Rohini, the wife of Vasudeva, staying in the house of Nanda and Yashoda. And that is why this child, Krishna, by instructing Yogamaya, asked him to be transferred, Baladev, who was in the womb of Devaki, to be transferred to the womb of Mother Rohini, who was another wife of Vasudeva. So from the womb of one wife of Vasudeva, the womb of another wife of Vasudeva. And that is one of the reasons, because he was pulled, extracted and transferred from one womb to another. One of the names of Lord Balaram is Sankarshan, who was transferred. Lord Sankarshan. Of course, we know that we have discussed how Lord Balaram is the original Sankarshan, the Mahasankarshan. He is the source of Mahasankarshan. He is the original Sankarshan. So when this happened, Kamsa was shocked, because suddenly saw, oh, what is this? Sudden miscarriage. Because there was a child in the womb. Now the child has disappeared, but there is no external symptom of miscarriage, because there is no external manifestation of it. It was totally bewildered. Meanwhile, suddenly, Rohini became pregnant there. And the child was already 2 months in Devaki's womb. And then suddenly he was transferred there. So 7 months after that, Rohini gave birth to Balaram. So on the full moon days, Purnima, Shravan, very auspicious. The full moon night, day after tomorrow. I think the Purnima Tithi itself is probably tomorrow night, because some are celebrating tomorrow, some are celebrating. India is celebrating tomorrow, if I'm not wrong, or major parts of it. Yeah. So the Purnima Tithi spills over 2 days, but the fasting in Malaysia is for Friday. I think for some of you, maybe tomorrow. Please check your calendar and please observe. If I forget, the way we observe Balaram Purnima is we fast until noon, not until night. So very simple fast. Just have to skip breakfast. You can have your lunch after 12. Offer to Balaram, worship him. Krishna is more strict. There's no fast until midnight. Radharani and Balaram is okay. Fast. So Balaramji appeared there and it was a wonderful festival. He was so beautiful when he appeared. Beautiful white complexion. It is said his complexion is like a autumn cloud. Krishna's complexion is Ghanashyam, the rain cloud complexion. But Balaramji's complexion is that of an autumn cloud. A very beautiful white cloud. You see it in autumn. Sometimes you may see a like a spring cloud also. Very white, fluffy. No, just very, very sweet, very beautiful. And everyone was amazed to see the extraordinary beauty. So when Lord Balaramji was appeared, he was looking like a full moon, bright and shining, because already fair. His eyes, it is said, were all as bright as lightning flashes. And his hair was also very, very beautiful. These incarnations of the Lord, or the Lord when they appear with beautiful hair. They don't appear like our children have appeared. Champu, barely any hair, they appear. It was very beautiful, curly, long hair. Very interesting. It is said his hair was also like the color of a new cloud, but it was brilliant like the sun. So the sages who were there, the Purohits, when they saw, they recognized this person is not ordinary. When they saw his chart, the astrologers, Garga Muni was the astrologer, right? Of Nanda Maharaj. So this person is Sankarshan. He gave him one of the names of Sankarshan. Also because he will take great pleasure in displaying his strength. Bala. His name will be Balaram. Normally his name is Ram, but because he will take his pleasure in displaying his strength, Balarama. Lord Balaram especially loves to show his strength. They also predicted that he would be an amazing cowherd boy. At the same time, he will also be responsible for killing many demons together with his younger brother who will appear in the future. Both of them will kill many demons, and they especially named 2 demons, Pralamba and Dhenuka, upfront. This was the caliber of the astrologers in those days. He could accurately predict so much. So they did all the birthrights and everything as per Vasudev's order. He had given the necessary instructions. But one thing was there which was very peculiar after Balaram's birth, that even though he was so beautiful and everything, it is said Balaramji behaved like dumb and mute after his birth. He would not speak much. He would not do anything much. So it caused so much anxiety to Rohini and all the others. It is said when Krishna appeared within the womb of Yashoda. Now, some of you may say, oh, Krishna appeared in the womb of Devaki and then he was transferred here. So what is the story of Krishna in the womb of Mother Yashoda? So it is said that there were 2 Krishnas. Mother Yashoda also gave birth to Krishna, the original Nandanandan, and Devaki has the Mathura expansion of Krishna. So they come and they unite that pastime. If you don't understand this, don't worry. That is not the focus of today's talk. We'll discuss this on Janmashtami, the details of this pastime. But just understand that Krishna was also within the womb of Mother Yashoda. So when Mother Yashoda was pregnant, whenever Balram would, she would, she was very affectionate to Balram, and Balram, she would make this little boy Balram sit on her lap when Krishna was in the womb. And when Balram would sit on the lap of Mother Yashoda, he would hear the heartbeat of Krishna within the womb of Mother Yashoda. And whenever Balram would hear that, he would be so happy and excited, he would start laughing loudly. Everybody was shocked. Oh, he's mute, but how come he's getting so excited and laughing? As soon as he would step down, again he would become mute. And this continued until Krishna's appearance. Only after Krishna appeared, then, and Balram actually engaged with Krishna, he resumed or he manifested his jubilant, bubbly nature, and he started manifesting his talking and his interaction and everything. So he remained inactive until the time Krishna came. If you remember, even Radharani performed this pastime. She was also inactive until the time Krishna came and touched her. So such a strong mood. You see, even though these lords, either as the primal energy Radharani or Balramji as the first expansion, such a strong sense of servitude they have to Krishna. So strong. They don't want to talk, they don't want to do anything. They're just waiting for Krishna, you come. They're not trying to be a hero and I am Balaram, I am first extra, I will do this, I can. Balaram, he can do anything. Such a strong sense, so amazing. So of course, for the childhood part, Krishna and Balaram, they were always together because their age is almost just around a year apart. So they would play together, they grew up together. The land of Braj, so beautiful. These two boys, Krishna and Balaram, were the cynosure of the eyes, Aankhon ka tara, of the entire Brajmandal. Would just love to see them. So beautiful. They would perform all kinds of pranks together. They would play sports together. Great fun. When they grew up and became from Pauganda up to the Kaumar age, where they crossed the age of 5, Krishna and Balram were given charge of the calves. The Gopashtami day, they were started. So both of them became Gopal. Krishna very affectionately would refer to Balaramji as Dauji. So rarely anybody would call him Balaram. Balaram is a very formal name. We call Lord Balaram as Balaram. But in Braj, everybody calls him Dauji. And in Braj, everybody calls Krishna Kana. So Dauji and Kana would perform so many beautiful pastimes. So much mischief together. Every morning, after having breakfast, Krishna and Balaram, they would be dressed so exquisitely by Mother Yashoda, Mother Rohini. Oh, so beautiful. Exquisite clothing. And Krishna loves to get dressed like anything, and Balaramji also. So dressed so beautifully with such beautiful, colorful clothes, beautiful ornaments. Yashoda and Rohini would also decorate them with many multicolored minerals and make nice designs on their face. And every morning after having breakfast and having dressed, Krishna and Balaram, all the cowherd boys will be waiting outside when Krishna and Balaram will be coming. Because they want to go to herd cows. They are waiting, all with their lunch boxes ready, packed from their homes. So Krishna and Balaram also taking their own lunch boxes with Rohini and Yashoda has given. They would come out from Nanda Bhavan, showing their cowherd boys. And guess who else would be there outside? practically all of Braj will be there every morning. So everybody is waiting to see when Krishna will come out, when Balaram will come out. And especially the young girls in the gopis, because they couldn't come up front to see Krishna and Balaram, they would feel shy. They would hide behind the trees and behind the bushes, just waiting for Krishna and Balaram to come so that they can see this very beautiful, exquisite darshan of Krishna and Balaram. This darshan of Krishna and Balaram is such a feast for the eyes. The Netra Utsava. Everyday beautiful darshan. Every day different kind of dressing, different jewelry, different designs. So the supremely attractive two lords, Krishna and Balaram, dressed in the most exquisite ways, every day would be such a festival. Because when Krishna and Balaram would go out to herd the cows, they would go out in the morning after having breakfast. They would not come back for lunch. Because that was like their job, right? The job of cowherd boys is to take the cows in the morning, bring them back in the evening. So they would go and they would come back at dusk. So the Brajvasis would rarely see them over the day. They would just gather to see them. Beautiful darshan as they would go out into the forest. And then everybody would gather to see Krishna and Balaram return back again with another exquisite beauty. Because their bodies would be covered by the beautiful dust of Braj. That would be another very, very beautiful darshan. So all these pastimes, daily pastimes would go on. So Krishna and Balaram. Now one thing I want to mention before I forget, before I get into the different pastimes. See, Balaramji is a very, very special personality. So even though in one sense he is the brother of Krishna, we would think that he is situated in the Sakhya Ras, being a brother of like a friendly relationship. But the Acharyas explain that Balaramji, being the first expansion of the Lord, and being the first expansion is the first servitor of the Lord, he serves Krishna. He's a Vaibhav Prakash expansion. He serves Krishna in all the 5 rasas. This is amazing. So we already discussed as a brother, he serves him as Sakhya because they go together and play and have fun. They joke with each other. But also being an elder brother, sometimes Balaramji will also chastise Krishna, instruct Krishna. Sometimes accept service from Krishna, being, in that spirit of an elder brother. So like that, he also, as an elder brother, he also acts like a Vatsalya mood, because Vatsalya means parental, like an elder. So while he's a friend, sometimes he takes on the role of Vatsalya, elder, because elder boys are also protective of their younger siblings, like a parent. So like that, he also has that. Also, sometimes he takes the mood of a servant, even though he's his brother. Sometimes in the forest, Balaramji strongly manifests a service mentality to Krishna, and in various ways he serves and assists Krishna. So in that way, he's also a servant. Then Madhurya Ras. Now, how Balaramji will participate in Madhurya Ras? Madhurya Ras, you have to be a gopi. So it is said that Balaramji manifests himself as Ananga Manjari, who's a gopi, to serve Krishna in Madhurya Ras. Now, who's this Ananga Manjari? Ananga Manjari is the younger sister of Srimati Radharani. And Balaramji takes that form of that gopi as Ananga Manjari so that she can serve Krishna. She can serve Krishna. He can serve Krishna in that form by taking the roop of Ananga Manjari. So Madhurya Rasa. Madhurya covered, Vatsalya covered, Sakya covered, Dasya covered. What about Shantaras? The Acharyas explained Balaram ji, because his desire to serve Krishna is so complete, he wants to serve in Krishna in all ways. Balaram ji himself manifests to become all of Krishna's personal belongings. What does that mean? The clothes that Krishna wears are manifestations of Balaram. The shoes that Krishna wears are actually expansions of Lord Balaram. The jewelry that Krishna wears is expansion of Lord Balaram. The bed on which Krishna sleeps is an expansion of Lord Balaram. Imagine. And not just that, the whole Brindavan Dham is a manifestation of Lord Balaram. Balramji's service attitude, just like Radharani has the supreme service attitude in the form of a Shakti, Balaram has a supreme service attitude as a personal expansion of Lord Hari, of Krishna, the original Godhead. Unlimited service attitude. And that's why he expands as the Dham in all the rasas is always somehow or the other serve and please Krishna. So I just thought I wanted to mention this. So there are so many beautiful pastimes. Actually, 1 hour is not adequate to discuss about Balramji. So I'm going to mention some of the pastimes very briefly. So first thing is that when Krishna and Balram would go regularly into the forest, they would have great fun. Krishna, Balram, they would mimic animals, they would make their sounds, they would play, they would wrestle, then they would have lunch together, or they would have lots of fun. So some devotees, their intense desire is to serve Krishna like this. They want to become a friend of Krishna. They want to be one of the cowherd boys. Why? Because practically the whole day, from after breakfast to dusk, they are with Krishna in the forest, with the cows, playing, eating, having fun. Wow, this is so wonderful, isn't it? They spend so much time with Krishna. And in such an intimate, sweet way, such a friendly way, so very sweet. Once, very jokingly, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, I wouldn't say jokingly, but in a lighter mood, not that he was not serious, but in a very jubilant way, he said that the only reason I want to go back to the spiritual world of Goloka Vrindavan, he asked his disciple, do you know why I want to go back? The reason I want to go back is I want to see what Mother Yashoda has packed for Krishna in his lunch box today. That is the cowherd boy's curiosity. What Mother Yashoda has packed for Krishna today. So that is the kind of fun boys have. Oh, what you brought, what you brought, what you brought. And everybody shares their tiffins. And of course, Krishna's tiffin is perhaps the most exciting. It is from the house of the king of Braj. And cooked by Yashoda and Radharani. So exciting. Of course, Krishna is very excited in other tiffins also. So anyway, that's a different pastime. So they have lots of fun. But amidst the fun, it is said, Kamsa would regularly send some demons to Braja. And every day it is said, before lunchtime, some demon would come and Krishna would kill, or Krishna and Balram would kill. And after they killed, all the cowherd boys would clap their hands. Oh, Krishna, well done, Balram, well done. Then they would say, oh, now we did so much exercise of killing demon. Now we are all hungry. We have done our gym exercise. So now let us have our lunch. And all the cowherd boys would sit together and have their. So that was practically like a daily affair. Krishna and Balram would kill some demons. And after the killing, by noon, they would sit for lunch. So of course, many demons Krishna has killed. We know quite a few of them from Krishna book. But there are a couple of demons which are specifically attributed to Lord Balaramji, that Balaramji has killed. So I'm going to mention two of them briefly, which I've already mentioned earlier, which were forecast by the Brahmanas that Balaramji would. So one of them is Pralambasura. So Pralambasura was an Asura, an associate of Kamsa who had sent, who came to Braj, wanted to kill Krishna and Balram. But what he did was he took the form of a cowherd boy and he entered the group of the cowherd boys. And he also started playing with them. And he behaved as if he's one of the cowherd boys. Now I'm cutting a long story short because there are many details. But essentially what happened is Krishna and Balram, in their play during the day, they formed two parties. And in their game, Krishna's party lost and Balram's party won. So Krishna also loses in games. It's not that Krishna always wins. That day Krishna lost. And the deal was that whichever party loses is supposed to carry on their shoulders the corresponding, one of the members of the winning party and give them a ride, walk around the forest, carrying them on the shoulder. So that was the prize, trophy, to get a free ride on the loser's shoulder. So Krishna's party lost, and this Pralamba, who had dressed like a cowherd boy, took the opportunity to ask Balaramji come on his shoulder. He was carrying Balaramji on his shoulder. And they were walking through the forest. And Balaramji was enjoying. Oh, it's fun, right? Young boys, they like to ride on each other's shoulders. So they were having fun. Balaramji was enjoying this. And of course, from a Leela perspective, Balaramji was not aware of who this boy is. He was thinking he's just another boy. Suddenly, this boy, he started deviating from the rest and started going into the forest. Balaramji was wondering, what is this boy up to? Why is he going here? All others are there. Suddenly, this boy transformed into a huge demon from a small boy. Golden ornaments, blazing hair, huge form. And it is said, for a moment, Balramji was shocked by the sudden transformation of the boy. It is said almost in Leela, he felt frightened. Oh, what is happening? Of course, this is Leela. He doesn't actually become Leela. He suddenly became frightened. Oh, what is this? And then he saw, and then of course, being the all-knowing Lord, he understood. Oh, this is not a cowherd boy. This is Pralamba. So Lord Balram got very angry. Oh, you dare cheat me? I will teach you a lesson. So Balramji took his fist and pounded it hard on the head of Pralamba. And Pralamba vomited blood. His head cracked, vomited blood, and he collapsed on the ground and fell dead. So that was one demon which Balramji killed Pralamba. And then there was another demon. His name was Dhenukasura. Now, Dhenukasura is a very interesting pastime. There is one part of the Vrajamandal which is known as Talavan, forest of Tala trees. Tala is the, I don't know, English, water chestnut or something like that. Yeah, in English I forgot the name. Anyway, it's a very sweet, juicy, watery fruit. Pulp. It's like a coconut-like pulp. Palm coconut. So very sweet. And so there was a very beautiful forest, but nobody would go into that forest because that forest was famous to be inhabited by demons headed by Dhenukasura. The demon who would take the form of a ass. So nobody would go there. So Krishna's friends once told Krishna and Balaram, oh, Krishna and Balaram, this nice Tal forest, Can we go there? Now, I've heard the fruits there are very nice. We want to taste the fruits. Can we go there? Krishna and Balaram said, yes, for you, anything. Let us go. So all this while they were not going. And they were very confident if Krishna and Balaram are there, what any demons will do. So again, when they came there and they started shaking the trees to bring down the palm fruit, all the demons got very upset. And the leader Dhinuka came charging towards Krishna and Balaram. And it is said he kicked Balramji on the chest with his rare hoofs, the way asses do. Balaram was not even the least affected, but he was angry. Hey, we are here to eat. Who are you? Everything belongs to us. What is this you are doing? So when he tried that again, Balramji got hold of his hind legs. Holding them, he began to swing Dhenuka. And he swung him so hard, lost his life, and he swung him into the air, where he landed on the top of some of the palm trees. They started collapsing on top of one another. And then so many other demons came, and then Krishna also joined the game. He would hold her ass, swing him, throw him onto one of the trees. Then one tree would fall on another. Like that. So in this way, the Dhenukasura demon was also killed by Lord Balaram. So there were so many sweet pastimes which were performed in Vraja like this. The beauty of the Vraja pastimes is Krishna and Balaram never use any weapons to kill the asuras. It's all hand, leg, throwing them down, pushing them down, sucking out their life, breaking their beak, choking their neck, all these kinds of things Krishna and Balaram would do. The next interesting episode was that of killing of Kamsa. So Akrura took Krishna and Balaram to Mathura for the Dhanur Yajna. Kamsa wanted to kill Krishna and Balaram. Again, Krishna and Balaram, very beautiful description in the Bhagavatam, which appears in the Krishna book, how Krishna and Balaram were walking on the streets of Mathura and how everybody were looking at their extraordinary beauty. Kamsa tried very hard to kill Krishna and Balaram. He sent Kuvalaya Pida. Krishna killed Kuvalaya Pida, and then both Krishna and Balaram were holding one tusk each of Kuvalaya Pida, and they walked into the arena, the wrestling arena. Kamsa was shocked. And then he arranged these wrestlers, Chanura and Mushtika, to wrestle with Krishna and Balaram. Krishna and Balaram looked like small boys in front of these gigantic wrestlers. Everybody was worried because Krishna and Balaram were barely 11. Yeah, around 11 years old, I think. Yes. At that time. So tiny boys in front of these gigantic wrestlers, and everybody was thinking, oh, this is not fair. But then the wrestlers challenged Krishna and Balaram and engaged them in a duel. Krishna fought with Chanura, Balaram fought with Mushtika. And very easily, for some time they played around. And Krishna killed Chanura, and Lord Balaram killed Mushtika. So after killing Chanura and Mushtika, Krishna approached Kamsa, and Krishna killed Kamsa. It is said after Kamsa was killed, the seven brothers of Kamsa also attacked Krishna and Balaram. It is said Balaramji killed the seven brothers of Kamsa. Krishna killed Kamsa, but the seven brothers of Kamsa, headed by Kanka, all the seven brothers were killed by Balaramji. So that was a very beautiful pastime. Of course, after that, they freed their parents, and that was the first time Krishna and Balaram actually saw Vasudeva and Devaki. So that's a very sweet episode. I don't want to go into the details now. It was a very, very emotional interaction. Of course, Krishna and Balaram at that point in time didn't go back to Braj. Nanda Maharaj went back, and Krishna and Balaram stayed at Mathura. They said that, need to comfort and spend some time with Vasudeva and Devaki because they have suffered so much. So Nanda Maharaj understood the situation and went back. Then later, Vasudeva arranged for the studies of Krishna and Balaram. And both of them were sent to the ashram of Sandipani Muni in Ujjain. Ujjain in India, that was where the ashram of Sandipani Muni. So both of them, of course, extraordinary students. They learned all the 64 Vidyas and everything within one day, one Vidya, something like that. They learned one day and perfect everything. At the end of their studies, Sandipani Muni was so pleased and he blessed them and they said, what is it that we can give you as Guru Dakshina? I said, I want my son back. So Krishna and Balaram arranged for the son of their Guru to be brought back because the son was actually taken by the ocean, he claimed, but when they went to the ocean, they said it was with Panchajanya, the demon, and then Krishna killed Panchajanya and took the conch, the covering of the Panchajanya. That's how Krishna got his famous Panchajanya conch. So in that way, they fulfilled the desires of the spiritual master. So very, very beautiful pastimes happened with Krishna and Balaram. I'm not going to tell everything chronologically, but I'm going to jump through some pastimes quickly. We have around 15 minutes left. One beautiful episode is that of the marriage of Balaram. So Balaramji married Revati, the consort. Now that itself is a very, very interesting, long and beautiful story. Again, I don't have time to tell it at all. Whole pastime because that itself will take 20 odd minutes. But essentially what happened is Revati, the daughter of King Raivat, was born in a previous yuga. And her father couldn't find anybody suitable to get her married to. So he went to Lord Brahma to complain. अरे कोई नहीं है इसके लिए. आपने सबके लिए किसी को बनाया, इसके लिए किसी को नहीं बनाया. You made somebody for each person who's for her equal, qualified. Said, okay, now you go back to earth, you will find. But by the time you go back to earth, Dwapar has come because you are from previous yuga. So you will reach in right time for marriage. So they went back to earth and they went and saw Balaramji. So Raivat offered Revati to marry to Balaram. Balaram agreed, but there was a problem. Because Revati was from previous yuga, she was very tall, much taller than Balaram. Balaram said, "Oh, this is not good match. I am this height, and she is so tall." So Balaram said, "No problem." He took his plow, he raised it up, put it on her shoulder. He pulled the plow down, and he said he reduced her to size. Just like we zoom in, zoom out on a computer, no? We expand and collapse like that. He brought her down to size, condensed her to make to a height which is suitable for him. And then he married her. So that's a very beautiful pastime. So Revati is the consort, eternal consort. So there are many, many other beautiful pastimes. I'll narrate a few. This happened as a later part. Most of these happened after Balramji went to Dwarka. Krishna and Balaram were staying in Dwarka. Okay, something very interesting happened when Krishna was in and Balaram were in Dwarka. At one time, Balaramji was feeling great separation from Brajvasis. Very great separation. Of course, Krishna and Balaram. We all know the pastime, right? How Krishna, Balaram, and Subhadra, even when they were in Dwarka, they were always remembering the Brajvasis. And we know how the pastime of they were narrating. Rohini was narrating the pastimes of Braj to the queens of Krishna. And how Krishna, Balaram, and Subhadra were listening to it and how they transformed into the forms of Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra. We all know that beautiful pastime. So all the time Krishna and Balram would remember. So at one point Balram became so restless. This is even before Krishna went to Vraj. Became so restless. No, I must go and meet Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. So he went. Krishna didn't go. This time only Balramji went. So it is said he went to Braj and he spent a couple of months in Braj. And Krishna told him, when you go there, please console everybody. Console the parents, console the gopis, console the friends. So it's a very beautiful pastime. Balramji came and spent there the time with Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, and he would narrate the beautiful pastimes of Krishna to the Brajvasis who felt so comforted, because this is the comfort that the devotees feel in separation from Krishna. The comfort is to hear the beautiful pastimes. Because when the devotees become absorbed in hearing Krishna Katha, they actually feel Krishna's association so strongly, so sweetly. So very sweetly he would describe and everybody would listen. Now, one thing is very interesting about Braj, which I have not mentioned earlier, is just like Krishna sports with the gopis, Balramji also sports with the gopis. The thing is, Krishna's gopis are different, Balram's gopis are different. They don't mix with each other. So Krishna also performs Ras Leela with his gopis. Balramji also performs Ras Leela with his gopis. So it is said, see, Krishna sports with Radharani, but Radharani has a very reverential mood towards Balram. Radharani never goes towards Balramji, because his elder brother is Dau. And Dauji is also very careful. He doesn't go and, meddle with Krishna and Radharani's. When it is said in Braj, if Balram is going somewhere, if he sees some golden stones, he feels, oh, Radharani must have gone this way, so he doesn't go that way. If Radharani is going somewhere and she sees some crystal stones on the path of Braj, she'll think Balramji must have passed this way, so she doesn't go there. So they keep a very respectful distance. So when Balramji went to Braj, he also took the opportunity to associate with his own gopis who were also feeling separation from him. Of course, to Krishna's gopis, he gave comfort by telling them Krishna's pastimes, but with his own gopis, Balramji would spend time. And in the night, he would perform Ras Leela, his own Ras, with his gopis. So at one night, he was sporting with his gopis and he was drinking the Varuni beverage. Varuni is a kind of a honey-based beverage, which is said to be intoxicating in one way. And now this intoxication is not like the alcohol intoxication, but it creates in a material way the feeling of mother. That means, I don't know how to describe that. Anyway, I have not tasted Varuni, so I don't know. But it creates a kind of intoxication, but please don't misunderstand this intoxication with the alcoholic intoxication. That's what I want to emphasize. And Balram's eyes became red with that kind of intoxication of Varuni he was drinking. And then he was sporting with his damsels, and Yamuna was a little distance apart. And Balramji said, now we have played, we have danced, we have drank Varuni. Now let us go and play some water sports. So Balramji looked at Yamuna and said, Yamuna, why you are so far? Come close, come close. You want to sport in you. Because he was lying down. It is said Yamuna Devi, when she saw Balram in an intoxicated spirit, she was thinking, oh, why should I go near Balram? He's so intoxicated. So she refused to come near Balramji. Balramji became very upset. It is said Balramji came, took out his plow, and he told Yamuna Devi that if you don't come here, I will put my plow within you and break you into 100 streams. Yamuna Devi knows the power of Balram. Said, no. Sorry, I disobeyed you. And then she came close to the place where Balramji was there. And then Balramji, along with his gopis, sported in the waters of Jamuna and performed many beautiful pastimes. One more pastime Balramji had with Yamuna. I just want to mention this in the light of this discussion, and this happened much later. No, I don't know whether much later or not, but it happened in the later pastimes only. Which is that, by the way, Balramji is famous for carrying two weapons. One is the plow and the other is the gada. The gada is the mace. He is an expert gada fighter. In fact, he was the top mace fighter on the whole planet. That is why he was the guru of both Bhimsena and Duryodhan in gada fighting. And he was affectionate to both, even though Duryodhan in one way was, because his technique was better, he was the more favorite pupil from a gada perspective. And actually, in the pastimes of Mahabharata, it is said Balramji was quite favorably disposed towards Duryodhan, even though Krishna was not favorably disposed. Balramji was a bit favorably disposed. A lot of interesting episodes between Krishna and Balram with respect to Duryodhan. For example, Balramji wanted Subhadra to marry Duryodhan. Krishna said, no. Arjun must marry Subhadra. So actually, Krishna made some interesting plot and instructed Arjuna to do something. Anyway, I don't want to go into those details, but eventually it was Arjun who married Subhadra through some trickery, and Balram was quite upset. Anyway, so to cut a long story short, it so happened, this happened later when Krishna had married the queens. Krishna had children. He said Krishna had 10 children from every wife. And Krishna had 16,108 queens. You can imagine the population of Krishna's children. So one of the children of Krishna, I think this Jambavati's son, Samba. So this son, again to cut a long story short, he fell in love with Lakshmana, the daughter of Duryodhan. So Krishna's son fell in love with the daughter of Duryodhan. The stories become so complicated. And net, I don't want to go into the details, but they caught them together, and Samba had put up a strong fight with the Kurus. But finally, he was overpowered by the Kurus and they imprisoned him. And the news reached the Yadus, Krishna and Balram. How dare they do this? How dare they arrest Samba, the son of Krishna? So Balramji told Krishna, you wait, I will go and settle the matter. Actually, Krishna wanted to attack them. Balram said, no. They are our relatives only. Let's not pick up a fight. Let me try to sort it out through dialogue. I'm very confident I will convince them. So Balramji went to the Kurus, Delhi, Hastinapur, and he spoke to the Kuru assembly and said, what is this? Please give me back Samba. And along with Samba, give Lakshmana, because, they both want to marry each other. But Duryodhan and others were very arrogant. And they actually offended Lord Balaram. And they demeaned Lord Balaram by saying, oh, we are the kings, you are just cowherd people. You are this, that, you are no match for us. You are not of our standard that our daughter will marry in your family. Balaramji was so angry. He said, either bring Samba now and get them married, or I will sink the entire city of Hastinapur into the Yamuna. And he took his plow and hit it into the ground and started dragging Hastinapur, the city, with his plow and dragging it towards the Yamuna. At that time, Yamuna was very, very wide. It was going to send the whole earthquake. Can you imagine what will happen if the whole city is being dragged? The whole Kuru started falling. And the whole city was being dragged. The Kuru suddenly realized their folly and they fell at the feet of Balram and said, no, sorry. Now we understand your position. So please forgive us for our offense. Let us settle the matter the way you have said. Then the marriage of Samba and Lakshmana happened. So that was another episode with Yamuna. Of course, he didn't actually drown Delhi, but he was about to. That is the power of Balaramji. By the way, one interesting episode happened I forgot to mention with respect to the previous pastime. We are almost at 10, so I'm going to end in another 2-3 minutes. Which was that on one of the days when Balramji was performing the Ras Leela in Vrindavan, it is said that one demon by the name of Dvivida, who took the form of a gorilla, actually he was a gorilla only, he was a demon in the form of a gorilla. He actually played mischief. Now that's also a long story, but essentially this Dvivida was one of the Vanaras who had assisted Lord Ramchandra to fight against Ravana. But later, because of bad association, he became demoniac. It's also a very interesting lesson. Even great devotees, even those who participated in Ramayana and assisted Ramchandra, they also, if they take bad association, they can fall down. So careful we have to be. So anyway, he came to Braj and he created a havoc. He was pulling out trees and doing this and that, and then he started misbehaving with the gopis. So after a particular point, when he started misbehaving and he was doing all kinds of nasty things, finally Balramji got very upset with him. And when Balramji came there, then there was a fight which ensued between Dvivida and Balramji. They were throwing trees at each other, rocks and this and that, and Dvivida was doing all kinds of things. Of course, finally, Balramji played with him for some time, but finally he gave him a chop on his collarbone. And Dvivida collapsed to the ground and was killed. So that was another demon which Balramji killed. By the way, another mention is Balramji also killed Rukmi, the brother of Rukmini. And this happened much later after the marriage of Rukmini and Krishna. Rukmi was actually quite envious of Krishna. He was very close to Jarasandha and all the other demoniac personalities. So at one time, Balramji was playing chess. Rukmi and a few other kings who were friends of his challenged Balram to a game of chess. And that game of chess was a game of gambling. Put a wager and then you play. So Balramji, in his Leela, is not so expert in chess. So he lost the first game. He lost the second game. But the third game, where the wager was very high, Balramji won. But these people started saying, no, Balramji, you are cheating, you are cheating. Balramji was already getting upset. Then another game they played. Again, Balramji won. But they tried to argue that Balramji had cheated. Balramji got very, very upset. And when they did like that, they said Balramji knocked Rukmi down because he was blaspheming Balram and calling him a liar and a cheater. He killed him. There was also another king of Kalinga who was laughing as Balramji was being criticized. Balramji took his mace and broke his teeth. So in that way, he performed this pastime. Balramji is also the personality who killed the sage Romaharshan. We have discussed that story also. He was the sage who is the father of Suta Goswami, Romaharshan Suta, because he did not get up from the Vyasasan to honor Balramji when Balramji visited that asana. We have discussed that pastime already, so I'm not going to go through that in detail. In this way, Balramji performed a very, very significant role in the pastimes of Krishna and Balram. So for us as devotees, of course in Braj, in Goloka, Balramji performs a very, very special Leela. Balramji is practically with Krishna most of the time, at least over the day. At night, of course, Krishna goes with his own gopis. So Balram and Krishna are separate in the night, but over the day, from morning to night, they are together practically. But for us, what is more important is Krishna, Balaramji for us represents the Adi Guru. He is the first manifestation of Krishna and he is also the first servant of Krishna. And all the gurus are representatives of Balaram. Our own spiritual masters are all representatives of Balaram because they are also servants of Krishna and they are also trying to connect to Krishna. Just like Radharani is trying to connect the devotees, Balaram is also busy engaging, trying to connect everybody. Balaram gives the spiritual strength and Radharani gives the bhav. So combined blessings of Balaram and Radharani make it possible for the devotee to be qualified to associate and serve with Krishna. So tomorrow, day after, whenever Balaram Purnima is celebrated in your respective regions, you should pray to Balaramji for strength. Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyaha. God explains oftentimes that this, we cannot realize the Atma and our divine relationship with the Lord without strength. Balahinena, without Bala. Prabhupada explains, what is this Bala? This is not muscles. Atma realization doesn't require going to the gym. This is spiritual Bala, spiritual strength. So it requires spiritual strength to say no to Maya and yes to Krishna. Correct? Is it easy? No. You need spiritual strength, Bala. Nayam Atma Balahin. Those who are weak-hearted, those who are weak in their control of the mind and the senses cannot achieve the supreme. So strength is needed. That strength comes from Balaram. That is why Prabhupada says, unless one receives the blessings of Balaram, one cannot advance in spiritual life. Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhya. And how do we receive the blessings of Balaram? Guru is the representative of Balaram. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado, yasya prasadat nagati kuto. Dhyayan stuvam stasya shastra sandhyam, vande guru shri charanaram. That Krishna becomes pleased when Guru is displeased, Krishna becomes displeased. Dhyayam stuvam stasya yashastri sandhyam. So let us pray to Balaramji that we are very small, insignificant souls suffering in material existence. We are all weak. We must admit, very weak. Weak in our devotion, weak in our ability to control ourselves and remain steadfast in the path of spiritual advancement. So, oh Balaramji, please give us, you are the source of all strength. You are the Adi Guru. Please give us the necessary strength so that we can be fixed in the devotion of Krishna. Because you also want to serve Krishna, we also want to serve, and you are the main teacher of serving Krishna. You and Radharani are the two teachers for us. You will make us qualified to serve Krishna, and Radharani will teach us how to serve Krishna. So you will elevate our position to the level of coming in Krishna's association, but exactly how to serve Krishna, that Radharani knows best. So both of your role is needed. We need Balaram also, we need Krishna, we need Radharani also. That's in Vrindavan, so nicely in the ISKCON temple in the altar. You have Krishna Balaram and Radha Shyam Sundar next to each other. Very beautiful. So we want to worship Krishna Balaram also. We want to worship Radha Shyam Sundar. By their grace only Braja can be attained. So let us pray to Balaram to make us qualified spiritually by receiving the blessings of spiritual strength. And ultimately, we get that blessing by humbly and selflessly serving the Gurujana, the whole parampara, and our Shiksha and Diksha. Shri Balarama ji ki jai. Krishna Balarama ki jai. Dauji ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, any comments? I hope you enjoyed the pastimes after lots of philosophical discussions. Prashantji, Hare Krishna, nice to see you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, it was wonderful. मला असं वाटलं ह्या कथा संपूच नाही. खूपच सुंदर झाला आजचा. मस्त, एकदमच very, very beautiful.
Prabhuji just said in Marathi that I felt like this story should never end, this narration of this pastime. So that is our goal. We never want it to end, but that will happen when we attain pure Krishna consciousness and when we go to Goloka. That's why that's the goal. Because these pastimes of Krishna are so beautiful, so attractive, so sweet. That's why we want to enter into that Leela. And that is why we have to take shelter of Balram. That is why we have to take shelter of Radharani and their representatives, the spiritual masters in Parampara. Then we can get entry. Even to attain Vaikuntha, even though in one sense it is very difficult, as compared to our goal, it is not so difficult. But even though we are so unqualified, the beauty is Krishna and Balaram have come down as Chaitanya and Nityananda to make us qualified. Can you imagine this Balaram who was pulling with his plow the river and was smashing demons with one fist, left and right, is going from door to door, knocking on the door and begging people, even by falling at their feet, chant the name of Krishna. And they would say, hey, get lost. Don't bother us. You beggar, why you have come to me? I don't have time for you. They say, no, just once, just. Can you imagine? Balaram taking this mood. So it's really, really amazing. That's why we cannot estimate our good fortune enough. That we are getting this opportunity to serve them. And this is the service they want. They want the greatest pleasure for the Guru is when others help develop themselves and help others. The evolution of Krishna consciousness. Thank you. Thank you, Prashantji. Any other points, questions, comments? So India, most of you are celebrating tomorrow. If I believe correct.
Tomorrow, Friday.
Day after only?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then it's on Friday. So please, my humble request is, if you're near an ISKCON temple, it's best to go to the temple and observe this festivity. There will be an Abhishek around noon. There will be lunch prasad. So this is the prayer. So we discuss this pastime so we can develop the right mood and we can ask for the right blessings from the Lord. If you cannot, just observe a nice puja and remember Balramji and fast until noon and then can honor prasadam after that. So Janmashtami is also coming very close. So I just want to remind you, please make an attempt to whatever you can donate to the temple for Janmashtami. I had posted a message also, even if anybody, especially for those who if you want to contribute to the KL temple for a Janmashtami donation, let me know. I had posted a message, but I can send the details to you. So reach out and send a message to me and you can contribute for the service of the Lord. Very nice. Okay. So thank you very much. And I will see you on Saturday. Saturday, my intention is to continue with our Bhagavatam class. We'll continue with the discussion of Rudra Gita. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Balaram ji ki jai. Oh, evening program, is it? Okay. Jagannath Mandir is an evening program. So I'll post the details of the program on the group for those who are in Kuala Lumpur. I thought it may be a noon program, but it looks like it's an evening program, probably because it's a working day. Okay. Thank you very much. Hari Bo.